Welcome to Beckway Balance, where we bring you insights and voices from Perth's accounting frontline. I'm Nadene Lewis-Laing, and together we'll unpack the stories, the challenges, and the wins that define accounting careers right here in WA. Welcome to Beckway Balance. I'm your host, Nadene Lewis-Laing, founder of Beckway Professionals. And today I'm joined by Waseem Akhtar, Director of External Audit and Assurance at Stanton's International. Today we're going to be talking about Waseem's career journey in audit, his leadership within public practice, and how the profession continues to evolve. Waseem, welcome to the show.
Hi, Nadine. How's it going?
Yeah, good, thanks. Thanks for joining me today.
Not a problem. It was a pleasure. It's a pleasure, actually,
Thank you.
to be
Oh,
doing
good.
this for you.
Always enjoy chatting to you. We can talk for hours.
Absolutely.
So yeah, so we get straight into it.
Absolutely. Let's dig into it.
Okay, so you began your career overseas before
Oh,
establishing
yeah.
yourself here in
Long
Perth.
time back, Nadine. Long time back.
Oh, nice. So can
Going
you
about
talk us through
25,
the
30
journey?
years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess the easiest way to start, just go back to the basics. One day, the managing partner of Anderson came to visit us there, and he said, "Hey, Wasim, you seem to be pretty all right. You have common sense. Do you want to do CA?" I said, "Nah, I like this job translating." He said, "Yeah, but one day Kuwait will open, people will go, what are you going to do? Do CA." So they convinced me to do my CA, and that's where my journey starts, actually. No idea what debit credits are and all that. I think the important part is once you have good mentors in life, and I was really fortunate, Nadine, that I've always had good mentors, good seniors. They've always taken me through the journey with them. It taught me how to think, critical thinking. And then I enrolled in the CA program with Arthur Anderson and then just went on a journey with them. So I started with the Pakistan office. I did my CA. Then my Arabic skills have always helped me. So I became the coordinator between the Middle East Arthur Anderson office and my office in Pakistan. And because they always needed people on secondment in the Middle East office. So I became the go-to guy, say, hey, we need 4 people. Can you send them to us? I used to say, all right, you 4 can go and work in Qatar office, or Dubai office, Abu Dhabi or Oman. Aussies have been really nice to me. I left 2001 to work in the Oman office. Then if you remember 2002, I think the Enron incident happened where
Yeah.
Arthur Anderson just imploded. So I didn't have a job. And then fortunately for me, we had EY on level 7 and Arthur Anderson on level 6. And the managing partner of EY Oman office came down to 6th floor and said, hey, we've taken over Arthur Anderson. So now you're all working for us. By the way, my name is Philip Stanton, a Kiwi guy, a really nice guy. And he took us over, and then I transitioned to EY. Now, then I became an EY guy. I worked with him, worked with Phil, really enjoyed work. Again, a really great mentor. And again, my Arabic skills really worked there because we used to go to the audit committee meetings and they would speak in Arabic, and Phil would just sit there and say, what is happening here? So he would take me along with him all the time. He said, Wasim, come with me, just keep quiet, don't say anything. After the meeting, just tell me what these guys were talking about. I said, yeah, sure. And then I got close to him. He became my mentor. 2005, I think I was part-time. Everything was opening up. US was having Sarbanes-Oxley, US GAAP, and all these things were happening. People were moving from local gaps to IFRS. It was a good time. I was seconded with a Shell team to Petroleum Development of Oman, so I was working with them. And then one day at EY, you have your CVs on the intranet.
Yes.
So someone at the Perth office picked up the phone and called me and said, hey, are you Waseem? I said, yeah, I'm Waseem. And he said, we love your name, mate. I said, really? So what's in my name? He said, Waseem Akhtar. So that there's apparently not apparently, there is a fast bowler, Pakistani fast bowler called Waseem Akram. And there's
Oh,
another
okay.
fast bowler called Shoaib Akhtar. So he said, you're two fast bowlers into one. Waseem Akhtar. I said, yeah, sure. Never played cricket. Don't even enjoy it. So I was more of a football guy. So I've always played football, like soccer. So I
Mhm.
said, yeah, maybe. And then he said, oh, I said, where are you from? I said, I'm from the Perth office in Australia. I said, well, where is Perth? And then he said, oh, Wacker, Wacker. I said, I just pretended, yes, I know what he's talking about. Put the phone down, spoke to my wife, and my wife said, let's
So
do
your
this.
wife has led a lot of these moves.
Oh,
So
yeah, absolutely. I just follow my wife,
yeah.
whatever she says. She's been lucky for me, I can say that. So after that, his name is Russell Curtin, actually. He's a really good guy. And he became my mentor. And straight away I came and we were on the Woodside audit. That was my big audit. And
Big
we were
one.
transitioning from AGAP to IFRS. Yeah, really good guy. And then I stayed there for 20 years, just gone through the ranks to from assistant manager, manager or senior, and then all the way to an associate partner, and then reach the ceiling. And the you always want to be an equity partner
Mhm.
in a
The
firm. That's
ultimate
always
goal.
your aspiration. So I was like an associate partner, was trying to break that ceiling, couldn't get there. And then this opportunity came, Stanton's International, which is a mid-tier boutique firm in West Perth, really good firm. And they called me up and said, hey, would you like to join us? And I had a really good friend who facilitated all this.
Me.
I think you know her.
Yeah.
So really, really. So we went through a bit of peaks and troughs with the whole
It took a
process.
while, didn't it? Yeah, it
Do
was
you
a long,
remember?
I think it was like is
Uh,
it over a year? Oh, that was, yeah,
year.
it
And
was
you
long.
said this is probably the longest time anyone has taken.
It really has. It's a big move. It's a big commitment. Yeah, going from a big four set.
Nadine, I still remember the first time we met in Louvre. You remember the Louvrian
Yes, I
building?
do remember. Yeah.
So we were having coffee and you said, and it was, I think, October, November at 23. Yeah.
Oh,
And you
goodness.
said to me, see, I can feel it in my bones that you will get a job by December. What you didn't tell me which December? 23,
It's
24, 25.
true. I
And
didn't
Nadine,
specify the year. I just said the month. So
yes,
that's
that's what I'm
fortunate.
saying. Nadine, what December? Which December are you talking about? Oh my. Anyways,
Oh
we got
dear.
there in the end.
Yeah,
I'm really
incredible.
enjoying my time here. It's different. To be honest, it's different because when you work you're working with a global machine. You've got access to these incredible resources. You've got the technical depth, the global expertise, and you
And
work on
fun.
large, complex clients. And I worked on BHP and Woodside and all these big clients. And the work is so structured. Everyone understands their roles, what you need to do. And you're working with these big teams, and your role is so well structured as well. So then you go to Stanton's, which is complete the opposite. But I guess at my level in a good way, because then you become more hands
Mhm.
and more like an entrepreneur. You're really close to the clients. The decision-making process is swift. So I think the speed and the agility that you get at Stanton's, that's what I really enjoy here, the speed and the agility. And from a client's perspective, I think when they go for a big four, they go for that global reach, the depth of knowledge, and just getting things done in a very structured way because they're also big organizations.
Yeah.
And of
Yeah.
course, the name brand is there. Whereas here, what I've seen is that when clients come to us, they're in a hurry. So they need partner attention, direct partner interaction and attention, and then and a tailored advice or a service. Can you get this done? If you're
Mm.
doing an IPO, if they go to a big four like EY, it'll take
The process.
considerable time to just get the engagement letter out. Someone
Yeah.
has to read it and all that. Here, we have the same process, but not the bureaucracy behind it. So I think I think we are more commercial and client focused here at Stanton's. It's easier. So I'll always give this example, and maybe I'll share this with you, where EY, you're actually driving as if you're driving a Lamborghini. Incredibly powerful precision engineering and supported by a global infrastructure. Everything is highly structured. Everyone knows what, and you've got all this immense technical depth behind you, supporting you. At Stanton, you're still driving a high performance vehicle like a Toyota Land Cruiser, something, yeah, and which is very reliable. It's agile, hands-on, adaptable, all those things. They just, and without that bureaucracy, they're just different platforms, different environments. I guess that's what I found different in those
Yeah.
two atmospheres.
You can
You,
see everything that's going on around you. So
yes.
it's been a big journey going
Oh,
from
yeah.
international, then locally now to Perth, and then you've gone from Big Four now into sort of more of the mid-tier setting. What's the most refreshing and exciting thing about stepping into the role that you stepped into at Stanton's and the environment and the leadership in
Yeah.
comparison to
So,
you've had?
and that's a good question because a lot of people actually ask me, and some get surprised. You've gone from E, which is a premium brand, and now you're working with Stanton's,
The
which
mid-tier,
is
the reputable,
a
reputable area.
mid-tier. It's
Mm.
a homegrown organization.
Privately owned.
It's been there. We're not aligned to any big name in the world, although we are a Russell Bedford firm, but we're not connected in a way that we apply everything that we would have done at the methodologies. I think, and that's the big difference. You come from the training at the structure, the understanding, the critical thinking, and challenging the clients, all that you learn at EY, I always say that whatever I learned at EY doing right, I apply it here now by doing the right things for the client.
Mm.
So the environments are different, but at the end of the day, audit is audit, right? The core principles are the same. It's the integrity, the corporate governance, and it all starts with trust. And the trust is then translates into objectivity, whether the clients trust you. So coming back to your question about leadership, from my point of view, I think leadership is about, at my level, it's about developing people and developing people to really think, really understand the why behind the numbers. Why are we doing this? Why are we sending a debtor confirmation? Why are we doing a stock take? And that's where you find the differentiation between normal auditor and a strong auditor when they start thinking critically and then
Mm.
applying those judgments if to whatever they've learned to those areas of audit. And that's where you get. So for me, leadership is about coaching, about critical thinking, about organization and discipline, about consistency. It's all about imparting that in your people, in your staff. And that's what you'll see as they develop through the ranks. You'll say, yeah, this guy's a good auditor. And I'll tell you, Nadine, from my experience, clients actually value you more when you challenge them. If you're just a compliance auditor,
Mm.
yes, you're doing your job, but it has to be beyond compliance. You have to add value. You have to add some insight. And I find this consistent feedback from a lot of stakeholders say, oh, we're just a junior exploration company. What value can you add? No, you can add value. You can add a lot of value. I've got examples, heaps of examples where they're trying to capitalize something, and I'm saying, why are you capitalizing this asset? Because there's really no point. You're just inflating your balance sheet. It does not mean anything. And your policy does not. So your policy is about capitalizing, but you can actually align your policy into not capitalizing that because it does not meet the capitalization criteria. So a lot of those things that,
Like an educational piece, isn't it, as
yeah,
well?
it's
Yeah,
more
the
about
guidance.
imparting that knowledge. And I've just been blessed in that position that I've been at EY for so many years, for 20 years, over 20 years, and before that, always in a big four, something just come naturally to you where at Stanton's you probably need to apply that critical thinking, apply that judgment, and then you have to learn that in a way that you are applying that critical thinking. And I think that's
Yeah.
where leadership comes in, giving them a safe environment, an environment to challenge and ask questions and why we're doing this. And sometimes we don't have that time, but you'll have to find that time to, for the sake of your staff and to make them good auditors. That was a bit of a long-winded answer, but this is what I think from a leadership point of view. This is what I think is all about leadership.
Okay, now that's great. You've combined probably five of my questions I was going to ask all in the one.
Yes,
That's
I
pretty
know.
good.
I know. I can talk.
Thanks for that, Waseem. So looking back now, and obviously you've now been in the position. How long have you been at Stanton's now for? It's been a
Well,
while.
almost over a year now.
Yeah,
Just
yeah, it's been a little
yeah.
while.
So joined say end of December 24. So let's say 1 Jan
Yeah,
25. So now
so thereabouts.
almost 1 year and what 5 months. Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
obviously, I remember when we were first speaking, we were looking at a few different factors of what you'd be looking for in your next step. What would you say, just to share with the audience, what were the key factors that you were looking for when you were
But
considering your next chapter?
so maybe I'll answer it in a two ways because one is just my point of view, my personal point of view, and which we discussed at length when we're going through that journey. My real personal point of view, I did not want to be reporting to anyone in the sense that, say, if I had moved out of my aspiration was to become an equity partner. So that has always been my goal. But if I was moving out of EY and someone else, say, example, BDO would offer me, my thing was they will again offer me a salaried partner role. I'm not getting equity. So you're again starting from that place
Mm.
which we left at EY, then I'd rather be at EY because of the
Yeah,
branding.
your
So
network.
I was looking for a house or an establishment where I can use my entrepreneurial skills better. Because I think I'm quite of an entrepreneur. I like the ownership and
Yeah,
all that. And I didn't want to be wedded to a big name or some protocols. I just wanted to run my own little establishment without reporting into different regions. So I just wanted something really organic, just something like I can deal with the clients, I can take decisions, I can
yeah,
do it. We're just a four partner firm. We just sit like before I came here, we had a quick meeting. We were talking about some rotation, independence, and partner rotation. And so it was a quick meeting in half an hour time. In fact, in 20 minutes, we said, yeah, that's fine. Let's do this, and it was done. Whereas if you take the same scenario at EY, it'll be a process. All right, we have a meeting, we've got 250 clients, we've got 14 partners, we've got I don't know how many directors. So it's trying to shape everyone or trying to slot everyone for the role and who's going to be the EQR. It's a process and you have to go through it and it takes time and
mm,
it's like I said, it's structured. Whereas here, and that was what I was looking for.
yeah.
I just wanted, and
Bit more
that's why I chose
money,
Stanton's. I had other options, but I said, no, I think, and remember, we discussed this at length.
we did.
What are the benefits of me joining a boutique mid-tier firm where we can run the practice as owners of the practice rather than trying to report into different regions and then it may, I
Mhm.
don't know, we may just grow to that size and we may have to do all that. But right now, I'm pretty
Yeah,
comfortable in my space.
yeah,
And the other way you can see is that sometimes you get stuck at EY like I did, and another mid-tier comes and says, hey, we'll offer you a partnership, but you need to be a salaried partner for 2 years. And then after 2 years, we'll see how you go and you can be an equity partner. So everyone has a different uh, perspective why they're leaving. But if you're in the profession, I think the aspiration should always be, at my point of view, to become a partner, to become an equity partner. Because if someone said to me, why would I become an auditor? And maybe this would be one of your questions somewhere. So what I'd say, just focus on three things. Fundamentals, get them right. Like fundamentals, your basics should be absolutely thorough. Go back to the basics. Second is develop judgment, critical thinking, the why that we talk
Yeah.
about. Why are we doing this? And third, which is probably the most important, be patient. It's a long road. An audit is a long-term career. I know the young ones right now don't have that patience, maybe. It's just the age of TikTok and AI and all that.
It's a very
And they want
fast-paced, yeah,
everything.
yeah.
Yeah. My managing partner at EY Middle East, Philip Stanton, used to say, Waseem, always first deserve, then desire. A lot of time people desire first and deserve later. So
It's
that's
true.
audit for you. It's a long-term career. Experience takes time, but that's really what sets you apart from everyone else. And also probably seek to go to different locations, diversity, because
Mhm.
then you working in different environments, your different regulatory environment, working under local GAAP, local accounting standards, and trying to understand what's the impact if you're in a different regulatory environment. So I think that's important. And a big firm like EY always does that. They'll send you on secondment here and there, so you get that experience. The core principles are always the same, right? It's about corporate governance, about
Yeah.
trust, about audit, it's about independence, objectivity. The core principles are different. It's just the people you interact. And I think the more you interact with people, the more you understand the types of audit engagements. Like I've been in Pakistan office, I've been in the Middle East office with Oman, and then a bit here and there and within the Middle East, and then Perth, I was my fourth office and different regions, right? So when
Mhm.
I came in, I didn't even understand the accent, the Australian accent. I didn't know what
I'm
is this
still,
guy
I'm still
talking
trying to get
about?
used to it
Or
myself.
footy, I didn't know what footy is about. I thought it was just some soccer, but now I love it. So unfortunately, I'm an Eagle supporter, which probably are not doing that well.
I don't follow, unfortunately. I should do.
Oh, you don't
I should
follow,
pick a
yeah.
side. I haven't picked
Yeah,
one
no,
yet.
no, I follow two teams, Man United and Footy here, and both are not doing that well. United is just. What do you follow, Nadine? Do you follow
I
any
don't follow it. No, my husband, he's a
anything?
massive sports wise, no. I really enjoy to watch it and I cheer on whoever I feel to cheer on the day.
That's
Um,
a good one.
yeah, I know. But if they're like, for example, because my father's from the West Indies, so if the
Ah,
cricket
yes.
stuff's here, I'll go along and I'll
Yeah, yeah,
support and
yeah.
watch that. I grew up with the cricket on in the
Ah,
80s. It
yes,
was
I
always
remember Vivian Richards and all these
yeah, they
guys.
were good. All of
Oh,
those people, yeah. So for me, I grew up with cricket on, but I don't really follow any sport. My husband, he loves Arsenal, the football
ah,
team,
they
massive
might just
diehard.
take the Premiership.
Yeah, I know. It looks like they're going to
But
win.
Man City is just 2 points away, so they're catching up.
I'm really hoping for my husband's sake that they do win this year, Arsenal.
Yeah,
So
they've
I'm
never won
cheering
any
on all of
Arsenal.
them. So sort of getting back into all of this. So Waseem, something I wanted to ask you is around some of the changes that we're seeing in the accounting industry and audit industry
Yeah.
overall. And one of the hot topics, of course, is technology, AI,
Ah,
automation, all
yes.
of those things.
Yeah.
So what changes in skill sets do you see auditors will need to bring to the
So
profession? And what changes in general do you think will happen?
from my point of view, and this is what resonates with me, is that audit is actually becoming more complex rather than easy. I know this technology is coming, but it's getting more complex because if you remember in the olden days, we could sample 25 transactions and do it. Now, no, with AI and all this technology coming in, you can actually do the whole population. You can audit the whole population. So it's getting more complex, and also the regulator is becoming more stringent, and there are greater expectations from stakeholders. Because what I see is the two things that I think there's one is the expectation gap. There's a big gap in what stakeholders think auditors do and what we actually do. That there's a big gap, and there's always this balancing act and say, hey, how come you didn't auditors did not look at that and audit a company goes into voluntary, what do you say,
Administrator?
administration, or
Mm.
goes belly up and says, what happened? Where were the auditors? And that's where the expectation gap is because they think, because remember, we are just auditors, we're not investigators. And
Mm.
plus, we have a timeline, say, for a listed company, you have 2 months from the balance sheet date. So you have to do that. And normally for clients, you have 3 weeks, or the reporting deadlines are so tight. So you can never eliminate risk. And that's what a lot of people don't understand, that audit does not eliminate risk. We can assess and respond to it. Then of course the regulators can have their time, and then we have to deliver something practical as well and with
Yeah.
efficient outcomes. So there's a lot. And with the technology, with AI coming in, I know that there are a lot of people out there think AI is going to make things efficient. Yes, it will definitely do. But then there's more responsibility on the auditor to make sure what AI is doing is right. So I don't think so. I definitely think it will become efficient, the audit, because now we're doing better audits, we're doing smarter audits, we're using data analytics, AI, and all the technological tools. But will we just shave off 30% of our employees? I don't think so. I think we'll need better employees, better talent. And that's the problem we are facing right now in the industry. We're not getting the top talent anymore. Like even when I was at EY, we were struggling to attract the right talent because I think like I said, that this is a long-term career. You have to be really patient to be rewarded. And I think it's my view, personal view, that the young generation is not that patient like we were. And which is fine
Possibly.
because,
Yeah.
it's evolves, right? I
Different
think
time. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure our parents were saying the same thing for us, and we say, which is fine. It's an evolving landscape. So and that's the biggest challenge for us right now, to attract the right talent who can really critical thinking. And if you're not getting the creme of the university grads and you keep going down and down, then you have to spend more time training them. I'm not saying if you don't have good academic records that you will not get there. No, I was an average student. I was not like the top of my class or anything. But then you have to train them. You have to coach them. You have to give them an atmosphere where they can apply their judgments and
Mm.
challenge accounting treatments and challenge clients about why are they doing what they're doing, understanding the commercial side. And that's where I think is the biggest challenge, to really attract the right talent. And
That's fair. I
at
second
EY,
this.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I did like EY, you could, because it's such a
It's the
big
brand. Yeah,
firm.
of
It's a
course.
brand. Everyone wants to work for EY, KPMG, P-Dubs, or even BDO, Deloitte, and the likes. But you say, ask people who do you want to work for Stanton? Someone say, what is Stanton?
Yeah. But
So
I've always enjoyed doing that part. I think for me, like working in public practice recruitment for Perth for as long as I have, I've definitely seen a change in recruiting for the audit sector recently. So I've noticed that in Australia, we've definitely had an influx of auditors. And something that you touched upon earlier that I can definitely vouch for is auditors, from what I've seen, they travel all around the world because, like you said, it's
yes,
the same wherever you go. And I love speaking with auditors because they've come from all different backgrounds, different countries,
yeah,
different
absolutely.
experiences. I love that about audit. But what I have found personally, that the request for auditors from my clients in the last 12 to say 18 months has dropped significantly compared to what I used to recruit for in terms of number wise
I
before
can give you that
audit.
reason why.
Okay, fill me in. What's
Yeah,
happening?
yeah. So again, my personal experience is that when the cost of doing an audit now is quite high from 6 years back, and it's not just the payroll, it's everything else. When you're implementing AI, you have to have those regulations, the protocols, the safeguards. So you have to spend money. So you're
Mm,
spending, say, EY must be spending in millions, right? Stanton's maybe less, but we're still spending money. And you need to recoup the cost. But on
mm,
the other side, the clients are saying, oh no, you're just doing an exploration company. Why is it costing 80,000? Why not 40? Why not 30? So there's always a balance. And then what do you do? So your revenue line is fixed. It's a fixed price audit, but your cost is going up. So what do? You have to think smart, right? So you say, all right, I'll go offshoring. So I'm still getting the CAs, all X, EY, or all these good, really good, but for a quarter of a cost. But
Mhm.
for them, the pays are really good. For us, it works. Same time zone, say, for an example, Philippines, same time
Yeah.
zone,
Yeah.
really capable, competent people, good English speaking, speak well, and they work on teams. So, like you and I doing it, I'm not sitting in your office, but hey, we're having a really good
Whole
discussion, a
conversation.
robust discussion. There's no interruption. The technology after COVID has really progressed to an extent that you can be anywhere
Mhm.
and you can still work because you have access to everything. And clients are loving it because we're still giving them quality work. We're still, the prices are competitive. And that's why you see the auditors, the demand for auditors here has gone down because everyone's going offshore. And you must have seen
Yeah.
this news article that for KPMG, even their EAs are going offshore now.
Yes, I
So
did see
they've
that.
made so many of them redundant. So it's the cost. You can only work on the cost. That's the only thing that's in your power that you
Mhm.
can manage. You can't manage the revenue. Revenue is revenue. It's a fixed price contract.
So, okay, that makes sense then. I was thinking, what's happening with the industry? What's going on? But now I
No,
know.
it's nothing.
Okay, good. I've got two more questions for you, Asim.
Oh,
Yeah, so one of them is, so you've been in audit, let's say you're pretty much your whole life. You were almost born into audit. You've been in it for such a long time. What's one misconception that people often have about working in external audit and assurance?
so assurance, and again, to my earlier comment, is the expectation gap. I think that's a misconception. We're not investigators. We can only respond to what we've given. And if there is a collusion between the CF or a CEO within the company, it's very difficult to find out because we just want an audit trail and we have an audit trail. And that's where professional skepticism and critical thinking comes in and
Mhm.
how you challenge it. And for that, you need some time and you need proper training and you need all the resources which you can apply. And sometimes that's the expectation gap that even you see all these big companies that go into voluntary administration or an administration and the auditors are big four and you say, oh, we hired these auditors, we're giving
Yeah, how
them
did they not spot
high
it?
fees.
Yeah.
How does that happen? But the expectation gap is so big that to make people understand we're just auditors. We report into shareholders, and yes, they're regulators. They come and look at our files. The regulators are becoming more and more rigid towards Big Four and all the rest of the profession, but that's the only thing we can do. We can assess situation, we can respond it, we can have, so what do you say, sufficient, appropriate audit evidence on file. But if something goes wrong, it will go wrong. We can't eliminate that risk. And I think that's a major point that I always find when I go to clients. How come you did not pick up this? I said, these were your accounts. Yes. I
Yeah,
said, what were
yeah,
you
you've
guys
worked with what
doing?
you've been, yeah, you've worked with what you've presented with. That'll probably
Yeah,
be
yeah,
more
yeah. So
for your,
people, yeah.
yeah.
So a lot of the accounts sometimes are not even reviewed by, and they just sent it to us. So we can't do that process for you. You have
Mhm.
to review it before we do, because then directors also sign a declaration, yes, these accounts are fine and true and fair. And it's only after that that we sign an audit opinion. So I'm not saying we get absolved of our duties, it's just that it's a combination. Everyone needs to do their role to make that whole process robust. I think, I don't know whether I answered that.
No, that's a good one. I had a feeling you were going to say something maybe about the work hours for an auditor, because I know everyone does some insane.
This always comes up, and I say, then you're in the wrong profession.
Fair?
Yeah, do something else. If you cannot put hours, then you're in the wrong profession.
Audit's not for you. Nothing
Yeah,
else.
audit is not for you. My own daughter is coming in this profession. I keep telling her, if you can't put the hours in and you can't be consistent, not one day, not every day, then this profession is not for you. You have to put in that hard work, the hours. Because we're driven by regulatory deadlines. We're driven by management, directors. If we don't deliver, then no one wants to hire us anymore.
Absolutely. Well,
So
let's
this hour thing is I don't use that one. You know, it's
No, that's
me.
why I
I'm
wanted to
old.
ask because it's something that gets brought up a lot. So I'm glad you straightforward with it. You've got to do the hours, that's it.
That's it.
And then my final closing question is, after everything that you've experienced throughout your career, what still excites you about the profession today?
I think the profession is really good because I know some people won't like. It's not science, right? We're not saving human lives, right? We're not really. We're adding value commercially. Yes, we financial reporting. We're safeguarding the interest of the shareholders and for other stakeholders as well. I think it is a really rewarding profession if you can be consistent, put in the hours, have the objective minds, objectivity, the critical thinking, and all that. If you can apply that, it's not a difficult profession, but it rewards you a lot. So the rewards are more than the effort. My view, I know people will disagree with it, but that's what I think. Take an example of a cardiologist. He's got human lives.
Mhm.
Even
That's a
though he's
job.
quite
Yeah.
wealthy, we say, oh, this cardiologist is pretty wealthy, but he's saving human lives. Whereas I'm not building a bridge. If the bridge falls, the engineers and the company, and if they're making money, that's fine. So I think we make decent money. And I'm pretty sure you've seen it in your interaction with accountants. The money is pretty decent and
It's very
not a
good.
lot of not a lot of responsibility. There is I'm not saying, but compared to engineers and doctors and scientists and all these, our profession is rewarding actually. And if someone wants to get in, it's still a very good profession. But yes, be patient.
Got to do,
It will
yeah.
reward
Got to
you.
do the hard yards.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, Waseem, that was fantastic. Thank you so much for your time today. And
Not a problem anytime, Nadine. It was always great talking to you.
no, it's really good just sharing all of your insights, your experiences for the rest
Absolutely.
of the audience to hear. And yeah, thank you so much again for your time.
No problem anytime.
Lovely. And thank you for everyone for tuning into Beckway Balance. Please be sure to follow the future episodes and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Cheers. See ya. Bye.
You've been listening to Beckway Balance, insights and voices from Perth's accounting frontline. Follow us for more real stories and practical insights from Perth's accounting community.